Right now, Governor Abbott here in the state of Texas is forcing the DPS, which is our version of the state troopers, to stop every single truck coming out of Mexico. Every single truck. And do a safety inspection on it. What they're doing is they're backing up shipping for dozens and dozens and dozens of miles. Normally, a Mexican driver will bring a truck over across the border. They'll drop it at a depot, and an American driver will pick it up and drive off. They usually do about 4 a day. They can't get one through. They can't get one truck through. They're backed up for miles. Laredo's the largest land port in this country, and they've got it backed up so goddamn far you can't even see the end of the goddamn line. These are the sorriest in the world. Republicans are traitors. They don't give a who they hurt, who they just so long as they can get some power. I'm telling you, people, vote blue in every election.
Now, that is Paul, Texas, who we showed you last week on the show, wanting to raise the profile, the fact that Governor Abbott was doing so much damage with his needless propaganda stunt of shutting down the border, that it was gonna lead to products not making it to shelves, inflation, the raise in prices. And so we talked about it, a lot of people talked about it, and did Paul win? Because Abbott is, let's see, he hit the brakes, he made a U-turn, he's reversing, boop, 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 whatever the puns are, I suppose. He's reversed the policy just a few days after the uproar started. He said on Friday that there were no longer gonna be any secondary inspections of trucks crossing into his state from Mexico, announcing the end of the policy. It had created multi-mile backlogs of truckers. It had cost truckers millions of dollars, which I have to say is just, it's like chef's kiss. When you guys were just pretending to care about truckers at a border, and now you're costing them millions of dollars, making it impossible for them to do their job. Well, anyway, he says, this is amazing backtrack. He says he's lifting the requirement because Mexican officials had agreed to new security measures. No, they didn't. It was a made up concern to begin with. He saw that conservatives were rightfully freaking out about this, and he immediately backpedaled, and thank God for it, because it was gonna do a lot of damage, and not just in Texas.
What's insane to me about this story is how he has the authority to shut down a national border. That just because it happens to be in Texas, that's not his jurisdiction, right? Like that is Customs and Border Patrol, that is DHS, which is under a Biden administration. But I think this is a pattern that we've seen really throughout the Trump years, and even before then. I mean, look, we talk about Obama being the deporter in chief. I think one of the things we fail to recognize, and I'm not trying to take any of the blame away from that administration, but that George W. Bush really set up an apparatus that, since 9/11 and continuing on, set up this apparatus that Obama basically just kept on running. But it was already ready to go, plug and play, and it was, insanely more militaristic and fascistic and all this. And so the real question is what I'm saying is, you're seeing how much Border Patrol is really out of the hands of the federal government at this point. And you're seeing the ways that especially Republicans and a lot of folks inside of DHS and Customs and Border Patrol are increasingly right wing. They're MAGA folks. They love Trump, want him to come back. They're willing to do any kind of stunt in order to make it look like it's a Biden border crisis, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And this is just another sort of point of proof that we don't really have control of what seems to be an increasingly radicalized entity.
Yeah, it's very much just a big, it's Bridgegate, but at a more state national level.
Yes.
It was purposefully causing damage, using your power as a state official to hurt other politicians, because the belief was that they would not know that it was your fault. And in both cases, it didn't work, thanks to people making the story clear, the focus, the uproar, all that. In this case, no, it's just he knows that he was gonna be blamed for it, and he doesn't want that, and so he's running from it. By the way, he's sort of a guy that runs when you pressure him. If we could jump ahead, earlier this month, he announced that he was gonna be sending undocumented migrants from the southern border to Washington, D.C.
Yep.
There was bipartisan criticism, because that's crazy and illegal. And he immediately clarified, well, it's entirely voluntary and it's only done after they've been processed by the Department of Homeland Security. Okay, well, like if you want to offer them rides, that's fine, but that's not what you were pretending. I'm gonna bust them out of here. They're not my problem. They're your problem. Now he's subsidizing some migrants' bus fare.
Yep.
Okay, I mean I've done much of a problem with that, actually. Thank you. That's kind of nice and Libby of you, buddy. He's just look. He is a guy who, as a governor of a big state like that, whether he's a spineless little weenie or not, which he is. He can do a lot of damage. Let's be clear about that. But I love when they try to do the Trump thing and they just can't actually make good on it. They don't have the complete lack of ability to think critically, worry about your reputation, and importantly, with these other politicians, you can make it hurt. With Trump, for some reason, it was very difficult, except over a long period of time, to do that. So,
I mean, Abbott is in this like sort of race. Like it's like an arms race of dumb. I don't know. It's like it's this arms race with Ron DeSantis. And the two of them are trying to be the worst people in the country. And Abbott doesn't have a Disneyland. And he's like, damn it. I can't do #groomers. This is terrible.
Where's the mouse?
Exactly, but he's got the border. So he's gonna use that. And they're just kind of like trying to one up each other.
Exactly, yeah. It's a mutually assured destruction, I think, is what we've got. Anyway, and he's also, by the way, got the purposefully shoddy, unregulated energy grid. And remember, although that was their failure, corporations and government, they tried to say that the damn progressives and their Green New Deal caused it in Texas. There, where there's no Green New Deal. So that's the game. We have to keep them accountable. That's what we do.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.